Ito ang Broad Stream Cast Communicators, ang naiba at kakaibang plataporma sa digital broadcast. Mula Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao hanggang sa iba't ibang dako ng mundo. Broad Stream Cast Communicators, ang sandigan ng sambayanan mula sa walang labis at walang kulang na pagbabalita, paglilingkod, maglalahad ng mga mapagbuong komentaryo at usaping pambayan para sa kapakanan ng karamihan. Broad Stream Cast Communicators, tuwirang maglilingkod ngayon hanggang sa susunod na henerasyon. Buhay Online, Chikahan at kaalamang pangkabuhayan. Ating tunghayan, pakinggan at tuklasin ang mga pangyayari at kaganapan sa mundo ng online. Buhay Online, Chikahan at kaalamang pangkabuhayan. Alamin ang pinaka-latest trends mula sa trabaho at kung hanggang saan na ang narating ng teknolohiyang ito. At ngayon, narito na ang ating host, ang ating Techiemommy, si Jaye C. Bautista.
Hello everyone. Happy Tuesday everyone. Better late than never. Pasensya na po. Because I just got a little bit excited because oh my gosh, after 8 days my internet has been resurrected, whatever. Nabuhay na ulit ng Diyos niyo, PLDT. Hindi naman ako kailangan magpasalamat ng sobra dahil hindi. Nagpapasalamat ako that, I was able to survive this whole week with my intermittent connection na nakiki-Wi-Fi ako sa kapitbahay. Thank you again to the Estanera family for having me or allowing me to use their Converge. Maraming salamat po. Hindi po ako nakapagtrabaho at broadcast sa inyo at nakagawa ng aking mga trabaho kundi dahil sa kanilang tulong. But my goodness, it's about time, PLDT, my goodness talaga. Because nakakaloka, lalo na in this job, this day and age, on this job. Mawalan ka ng internet, especially kung ang trabaho mo ay sa online, And like 95% of what I do is online. Ay, nako. But anyway, we're back. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat. Magandang umaga. Happy Tuesday. I have so much energy and happy feeling within me kasi po yesterday, I'd like to read happy anniversary, 35th anniversary to my baby sister Jenny Bautista and George Winnicky. I was in Manila po for the day yesterday. So I sort of took a hiatus or break from work yesterday and went to Manila and joined my siblings, my loved ones over there because we celebrated 35 years marriage of my bunsong kapatid. They got married early, of course, because they're my bunso at 35 years now. 40 years as boyfriend, girlfriend, 5 years boyfriend, girlfriend, 35 years together as a couple. And, they're one of the sweetest and best couples that I know, God-fearing and full of love, Jenny and George Winnicky. Jenny Bautista Winnicky. That's they are my beloved, we call this, my beloved siblings. I want to show you who they are. Hold on, bear with me, please, because I want to share some of my happy moments with my family yesterday and show you George and Jenny Winnicky. They're actually, they're kind of prolific in the industry of business. George Winnicky George Winnicky started Potato Corner, and they're Kanya Negosyo, and Jenny Bautista Winnicky is very good. It was done in the advertising world, but now as a couple, it's along the line, especially in this pandemic, they work with homegrown products. Yung mga they develop that sa kanya negosyo. They also sabi sa go negosyo. And they're with Hafi and po sila po ano ng mga franchising sa Philippines. And yes, that's Jerry and George really. So happy anniversary to you guys. Wala caricature tayo. But anyway, hindi ko makita. But happy anniversary to you guys. 4 years to come. And yan po, sila po mga entrepreneur din na nag-develop ng homegrown. They go to cities, different provinces with the Kanyang Negosyo project, and also they help mga franchisees. They help to develop your product. Kunyari, kamote yung product mo. Ano magagawa mo with kamote, pati they help with the packaging, marketing, because the orientation of Jenny and George 20P is advertising. Kasi nagtrabaho pareho. First and last boyfriend sila to each other. Kaya 55 years na married. But anyway, happy anniversary again, my beloved sister Jenny and George. And thank you for having us yesterday. The scrumptious dinner fare that you prepared sa Lola Cafe. It's in by Esmason na sa Conrad Hotel na complex na mall. Okay? Masarap yung po sa Lola Cafe. Anyway, so let's start with the order of the day. Okay, ano pa pag-usapan natin? Unang-una, di ba, we were afraid that there might be a surge of the virus after the election. So, true enough, meron na pong pautik-utik na dumadami, pero like kahapon, when we went to Manila, people were wearing masks, pero syempre pagkakain, tatagay ng mask. But it almost really feels like normal. Okay? Almost. Okay? But a slight uptick in Metro Manila's COVID cases due to the Omicron subvariants. Yun naman talaga contagious kasi yung Omicron. No? The slight uptick in COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila was most likely caused by new Omicron subvariants that were detected in the country. An expert of the Octa Research Group said on Monday, May 23. Ito nakikita natin sa mga upsticks ng cases. Maliit pa lang sa ngayon, tingnan natin dala ito ng subvariant na mas nakakahawa kaysa dun sa dati. In other words, translated, we think these upticks in cases that we are seeing, although not that much yet, may have been caused by a COVID subvariant that is more contagious than before. Itong sinabi po ni Octa Fellow Dr. Guido David in a televised briefing kahapon. Based on Octa's latest monitoring, COVID infections in Metro Manila have increased by 8% over the past week. Okay, 8% lang. Hindi pa rin po raw siya dangerous levels para mag-declare ng stricter alert level. Okay? David said Octa will continue to monitor the situation over the next few weeks to see if the Omicron subvariants will cause a sustained increase in cases after the Department of Health confirmed the presence of subvariants BA 2.12.1 and BA.4 in the country. Kahit magkaroon tayo ng surge sa BA4, dahil malakas pa yung wall of immunity natin, a few thousand cases like ang nakikita natin, baka umabot lang ng 5,000 cases at the most sa buong kapuluan, right? Magugulat na ako kung umabot ng 10,000 dahil parang they foresee that it won't reach those levels, okay? Sa tingin ko, hindi nalalagpas doon. Even if we have a surge in BA4 because our wall of immunity is still strong, we only see a few thousand cases popping up. Maybe only 5,000 cases at the most. I would be surprised if it will reach 10,000 cases. I don't think it will go beyond that, translated. Okay? David noted that Metro Manila remains under low-risk classification for COVID-19. Thank you, Lord. As we witnessed po yesterday when we were in Metro Manila. Nakamaskara pa naman din po ang mga tao pag lumabas or pag nasa mall. Yun nga lang pag restaurant, hindi mo siya maiwasan. Ibaba talaga yung mask mo dahil kakain ka, right? And so taken, ano pa rin, we still have to experience or follow the safety precautions. Like kahapon, lahat ng tao may hawak na alcohol. Tapos may, yung buffet yun, pero sinaserve po, iba pa nagsaserve. Tsaka yung ginagamit niyang baso, yun na yung gagamitin niya the whole time, hindi yung palit-palit ng baso, palit-palit ng plato. So we're monitoring some areas but nothing is alarming yet. Ang sabi ni Dr. Dr. Guido. Okay? Meron pa tayong wall of immunity pero may nakakalusot na konting infections, mga breakthrough. Yung anong nakikita natin upticks. So far, konti pa lang. We still have a wall of immunity but there are a few infections and breakthroughs. Those are the upticks that we are seeing. So far, they're only a little. Okay? David urged, or David, that's the last name pala, Dr. Guido David urged the public to continue to follow minimum public health protocols, while those who have not yet been vaccinated should be vaccinated or boosted against COVID-19. Malaking matutulong ng second booster shot kasi tataas ang level of immunity at mapapababa ang bilang ng kaso. The second booster shot will help a lot because it will increase the level of immunity and reduce the number of cases. Para maging mild ang mga kaso na ito dahil patuloy tayo magpapabakuna at magpabooster. Okay? Para yung ating immunities lalong lumakas. Alright? Alright. Okay? Okay. So, in that note, no, ayun po yung paalala dyan. So, hindi pa tayo po kinakailangan na ng mas stricter protocols. Nasa safe, pa tayo. A few thousands lang siguro. Pero ngayon, a few hundreds pa lang naman yung uptick. But, like I said, we still have to keep observing those proper safety protocols na kailangan natin gawin, which is to wear a mask when we go out. Okay? So, ayun lang naman po eh. At hindi naman napakahirap gawin noon na magmaskara, paglalabas, kung kailangan kung kinakain. Right? Alright. Okay, in connection naman to, of course, in connection naman to the concerns tungkol sa economy and how the prices are still going up. Fuel price hikes could stop only, okay, ito po if Ukraine-Russia conflict ends. Ito po sabi ng ating Pangulo kahapon. Ay, hindi pala, this morning, 9:51 address niya. As the country is dependent on global importation of oil, ayun na nga kasi yun. President Duterte lamented that there will be no new normal unless the Ukraine-Russia war ends, as this could help end the spiral of oil prices in the world market. Oo nga naman. Tao yung may gumagamit ng mga sasakyan. Those of us who use vehicles, you complain every day that it's getting higher by the hour. Itong lang this oil, he said in his State Talk to the People aired on Monday night, May 23. The chief executive said that fuel prices have gone up because the Philippines does not produce its own oil and is heavily dependent on imports. Citing that neighboring country Malaysia produces its own oil to meet its domestic demands, Duterte lamented that oil prices cannot return to normal as long as the Russia-Ukraine conflict continues. This is why he is spinning his hopes that his successor would explore the possibility of having nuclear power as a source of energy for the global oil crisis that resulted from the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. The president said it would be a good idea for the government to shift from oil to nuclear power nga naman. We are not yet dito sa nuclear level, at this nuclear level, but I hope that the next administration would at least explore now the possibility of itong shifting to nuclear. It is not infinite. May katapusan yan. That will end someday. It will dry up. So it would be good for any government to prepare possibility, okay, of making the transition earlier from oil, the fossil fuel, to nuclear because nuclear is forever. The chief executive or our President Duterte also acknowledged the danger of using nuclear power, citing the 1986 nuclear leak leading to radiation in Chernobyl in Ukraine. Oh my God, I remember that distinctly, the faces of the children affected by the nuclear bomb sa Chernobyl. That's really, really sad to remember. Mabuti na lang it was good that all nations contributed to the control of the Chernobyl, including Russia, which is now attacking Ukraine, Duterte noted, adding that oil is not infinite and it will dry up someday. It would be good for any government to prepare the possibility of making the transition earlier from oil, fossil to nuclear, kasi nuclear power is forever. This would free the Philippines from directly being impacted by Russia-Ukraine conflict, which drove up the prices of oil, pati ng wheat, on the world market. Ukraine is one of the largest global producers of wheat kasi. Kaya, right? So with that said, okay, ano na natin yung action yan tungkol sa war. Okay, nabanggit lang natin dahil it affects talaga ang ating oil industry, ating supply. Alright? Oops. Okay. No, we were into the subject of women and jobs that women take, diba? Lately. Kasi ang dami-dami natin. I also spoke in a forum last Friday of motherhood. What do you call this? I spoke that, and I just mentioned it. Hold on a second, because I want to say thank you to the organizers of that event that invited me to be a speaker in one of those days of their conference. Okay, I'd like to thank Ms. Ting Valdez, okay, regarding for inviting me to the second annual Celebrating Motherhood event. Okay, that was 2 days po yun 20 and 21. And I was a guest speaker in one of it, and we were speaking about women empowerment, women in the workforce, and how there's still no gender equality, okay, because women seem to still be paid less than men, although the abilities the same, if not better. Uy. But anyway, in connection to that, okay, ano ba yung work-home balance para sa mga babae? Recently po, no, amazing women talked about work-life balance challenges. Okay, balancing work and family life poses a great challenge, particularly for women on the go with ambitious career goals. Could you please excuse me a minute because I'm alone here. I will just get something to drink because my throat is a little parched. Pasensya na lang po. Sandali lang po. Nakakatayo na po ako sa aking titanium knee. And of course, a little effort. I will be right back. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for bearing with me. I just needed to get a drink. Too biggest life. Anyway, balancing work and family life poses a great challenge, particularly for women on the go with ambitious career goals. And for my part, okay, I've been working from home for more than 2 years now in the pandemic, and prior to that a little bit, so almost 3 years I've been working from home. And for me, kasi because I am my own boss, my own business, my own career, my own path, the amount of work that I do depends on how much I can handle. Pero yun na nga, mahirap mag-work from home, work and home balance if your job, you use your home as your office too. So nasa sa inyo po yan, no? Kayong mga working women, working mommies, it's really, really not easy to juggle, right? Actually, because I have students also, because I also teach online English, aside from my writing, my copywriting, my publicist work, my marketing communications work, my digital marketing work. Ayun po talaga, I wear many hats, but it's a choice, okay? I like diverse kind of work. I like to be able to do different things at the same time. Yun na nga po, parang octopus. Pero kasi nga, multitasking is my middle name. So in the course of my teaching, sometimes the students, when I ask them, are you a student or a worker? They say, I am just a housewife. I mean, truth be told, please, wag niyo pong sasabihin, I'm just a housewife, I'm just a mom. Hello, I think that's the hardest job in the world. Don't you think? I mean, not because I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from facts that siguro the men won't be able to juggle as much as mommies do, as much as housewives do. Talaga naman kasi sanay tayong mga mommy na sabay-sabayin ang pagiging nanay, pagiging asawa, pagiging worker. Because nowadays, the mommies work too. Gone are the old days when the men bring home the bacon, the men are working hard kasi housewife sa bahay lang. Kahit nasa bahay lang sila, mas marami pa silang work, right? Because especially if you're a mom and a wife, uh, you have to take care of your family. You are the pillar of the home. Pero tapos nga, nowadays, hindi lang housewife nag-work ka rin because there are things you can do from home. Or take a part-time job. Like sa Japan, iniiwan talaga nila yung mga baby nila. Manganganak lang sila, maternity leave nila sa Japan. I can't believe it, as long as 2 years, 3 years. Pero yun na nga, pag malaki-laki na yung baby nila, pag 3 years old na, pwede sila bumalik sa workforce, iniiwanan nila yung anak. Sa Amerika, tawag ng daycare, but in Japan, it's called a nursery or kindergarten. They leave the kid there so that they can work because the mommies are now also working in Japan. So, iiwan ng anak doon, 2 years old, minsan yung 1-year-old pa, so that they can work. Japan, ini-encourage na talaga ng work mga tao, right? So, yun, in that note, okay, balancing work and family life poses a great challenge, okay? Particularly for women on the go with ambitious career goals like myself, no? But it is possible. I have done it. I've been doing it. My son is now 20 years old. And now I'm engaged to be married after being a single parent, okay, for the most part of my son's 20-year life. I raised him by myself and I put up my own business and career. I've been working freelance for more than 15 years and enjoying every minute of it. Okay. So, but is it possible to have it all? A thriving family, great sleep, exercise, and career success according to some time management experts. Ito po ang sinabi, okay? Itong mga iba-ibang expert na usap at nag-discuss nitong issue na to. I believe time management is a skill and it's just a matter of mastering it. We're wearing on different hats. I realize that I should prioritize my time and have the right balance in my personal and professional life. This was said by one nanay, no? She also says the importance of having a reliable partner for life she can trust. That's true. But in my case, nga, diba, I've been a single parent for, for 18 years or 17 years. Well, 18 years pa rin. Kasi even if, I'm engaged to be married now, my partner, my fiance, also has a child from a previous relationship. And parehan po kami, hindi po siya na-obligate na to fend for me and my son. No? Ako po, I still continue to take care of our own business as much as yung fiancé ko, meron din siyang sariling anak na nasikaso. Pero yung aming relationship or commitment to each other is in fact na give and take po kami. At meron pong gender equality sa aming bahay. Over here in our munting dampa, our little crib, we shared the work because I physically work, of course, and do my work mostly online. But he is he's a caterer and his business is food. So, but the household chores we share, okay, and that's gender equality. Na there's no difference between him being a man and is working and me being a woman and working. So pare-parehas lang, right? Okay. That's why choosing the right partner is crucial. Just like choosing the quality brand that suits your busy lifestyle, right? The one that affords your convenience and high performance, just like mga produkto na ini-enjoy natin, okay? For share, ano pangalan nito? For Cherish, ang pangalan niya ay Cherish. For Cherish Ong Chua, Vice President for Finance and Marketing of Hanabishi Philippines. Hanabishi is a brand of appliances. It is working efficiently while prioritizing family. Sabi ni Miss Ong Chua, our culture in the office is very family oriented. We follow an 8 to 5 office schedule and we believe that family time is important. I try to adopt the culture that we try to promote in the office, which is to work efficiently so that we can spend more time at home. For her, the most challenging part of being a working mom also is never being able to shut off. Well, naintindihan ko yan eh. Ako naman lalo na because it's my own business, my own time, my own diskarte, na ako na ang bahala mag-balance ng work at home ko eh. Because I work from my home. In my case, I try to balance out everything by trying to give myself a timetable, a guideline on what my schedule should be. Because the amount of work that I do depends on how much I can handle. That's the thing. That's why. Because it's a little bit hot. And that's yes. I'll just turn on the AC kasi po napapawis na ako. But anyway, so that's what I'm trying to say. I try to balance out everything by making time. Okay, making time for myself and my family. Even though, truth be told, na if it's your own businesses in your own time, you have a tendency to do overtime dahil hindi mo na papansin na oras na palang dapat ka nakakain or matutulog. So you have to set your own deadline and but I can understand what Miss Cherish Ong was saying, that you can never shut off. Totoo, because sometimes talaga hindi mo mapigilan yung sarili mo eh. Right? I mean, dumadaan na naman sa likod ko yung aking fiancé at kami nagpapalamig dito sa aircon because napakainit naman po. Summer is, yan. Yan po ang kanyang contribution for the day. We will talk about other issues about anyway. So I was saying, tama, I can understand po yung sinasabi ni Miss Cherish na sometimes you're not able to shut off, okay? Sabi pa niya, I like to delve into the details of my work to make sure we have all bases covered and we're working as efficiently as possible. At the same time, I make sure that the kids are doing well in school and have eaten their meals, okay? On the other hand, Candice Ong VP for Operations naman, and head also of Hanabisha's Service Department, she says that her being a hands-on mom, despite being busy with office work, is something that they got from their mother. I think as a mom, you just do it automatically. Oo nga talaga. Merong things talaga na automatic para sa mga nanay. You have responsibilities at work, but your family will always be at the back of your mind and your first priority, she said. Sometimes there are conflicts in schedules and you have to prioritize work. But in our family, we try to work around our family schedule because family time is very important to us. Okay? Tapos po, kaya nga po, importante po talaga na ang time management. Just like what I said, in my own time and pace, I do my work. But sometimes really, I must admit, there's a tendency for me to overwork. Kasi nga, yan na nga eh. If it's your own business, your own time, your own diskarte, ako I'm somewhat of a workaholic and I don't know really sometimes when to stop. But I have to tell myself, because na nga, this will take its toll on your health. Yun na nga, I don't sleep a lot. I only sleep 3 to 4 hours a day, which is really not good. I don't advise that for other mommies, other working moms, because it's not really healthy to just sleep 3 or 4 hours a day. But in my own mind, po kasi I have been like this since high school. Di talaga ako, sleep is something that I really don't totally indulge in and enjoy. I sleep 4 hours max and I'm okay. Because if I sleep any more than 5 hours, nahihilo na ako. Parang I don't feel energetic. I actually feel weaker when I sleep a lot. Pero I know it's not good. And everybody's telling me that, I'm a ticking time bomb because lagi akong puyat, but di ba, may mahalata, right? Pero talaga, I just sleep enough. Okay? But, tapos, okay, what are the things that are effective uh, for mga, mga mommies? Kasi itong, we will talk about my question dito. What are the things that, okay, we will deal about that later. So I was just talking about time management for working moms, and it's actually possible to be a working mom and still monitor and raise your child. That's how I did it. Of course, with the help of my listening and my dad. God rest his soul, who passed away in 2020. My dad, who I've taken care of him for more than 20 plus years, who was the father figure of my child for the longest time, and in between that and my travels, because of my work, I managed to take care of my son to kahit remote control. And that is where you use technology to help you. That's what I do. That's what I used to talk about in my articles at the Manila Bulletin, sa Techiemommy Talks with me, by J. Bautista, and here in the online show, I will keep talking about how you can effectively be a good mom, a working mom, and still manage your life with the help of technology. Right? So, gaya niyan po. Okay, there's a text here to ask, what are the best jobs? Oo nga, I was gonna talk about that. Diba yung jobs in technology and women, we will discuss that tomorrow. Okay? Technology and women, of course. Okay? Um, Now, okay, I want to talk about the three things to consider, okay, when deploying data protection, okay, to your small business, okay? Importante po ito kasi diba, these uh, cyber crimes that are happening, yung pagnanakaw ng mga information. Well, there are three things to consider when deploying data protection to your small business, okay? Small businesses are the backbone of every economy, okay? Every growing economy. Small to medium enterprises then, okay? Bringing growth and innovation to the communities in which they are established. However, these businesses are often vulnerable when conforming to the new standards of remote work. Today, one of the greatest threats to small businesses is a cyber attack. According to the Wall Street Journal, companies with less than $10 million in annual revenue are less likely to be prepared for cyber attacks. Fire, sunog tsaka I, also reports that while 77% of all cyber crimes are directed towards small businesses, so ito naman, yun ang tinatarget ng mga cyber criminals or mga online hackers na yan eh. Yung mas maliliit na negosyo, right? Tsaka hindi pa masyadong fortified ang kanilang cyber security. Hindi pa, kaya nila yan sinasadya. No? Na ang target yung mga smaller businesses. So, how do we protect, right, against that, right? There's three things, okay? Today, one of the greatest threats to small businesses is a cyber attack, okay? According to the Wall Street Journal, companies with less than $10 million in annual revenue are less likely to be prepared for cyber attack. All of your digital assets could be unprotected and at risk without you even knowing. The National Business Association reports that as many as 60% of small businesses will fail or will fall within 6 months of experiencing a significant cyber breach. These findings clearly show that most small businesses lack the ability to defend against this growing threat. Yun na nga kasi. Startup company ka, di ba? Wala ka pang masyadong funds. Nag-uumpisa ka pa lang, hindi ka pa rin masyado nag-i-invest sa technology, which includes how to fortify your information and your data in cybersecurity. No? Like I said, all of your digital assets could be unprotected and at risk without you even knowing. According to WSJ, many small businesses don't even know when they've been the victim of a cyber attack because they don't have the tools to identify them. At saka hindi sila tech savvy. Yun eh. Encryption-based ransomware, okay? Preventing businesses from accessing their own. Ang encryption-based ransomware encrypts files, okay, that are stored on computers and can spread across the network, okay? Preventing businesses from accessing their own data. These types of ransomware are becoming increasingly sophisticated and may not be detectable by anti-malware software until it is too late, okay? Once infected, a business can be locked out from its own data, and there is no guarantee that the data can be retrieved even after paying a ransom. Ayun na nga, di ba? Na to? Yung ransomware po ang tawag dyan. Yan, pag ninakaw nila yung data mo, yung database mo, sasabihin nila, isusoli nila yun sa inyo. Actually, talagang literally ninanakaw, right? So, soli nila yun sa inyo, i-hold ransom nila. Kung hindi mo babayaran, hindi nila ibabalik yung mga data nyo. Yan ang ginagawa niyan. So, but once infected, a business can be locked out from its own data and its own system. And there's no guarantee that the data can be retrieved even after paying ransom pala. Another common challenge for small businesses is scattered and redundant data. Yun nga po, kalat-kalat ng data. Kasi nga po, hindi mga nag-invest sa database management or yung may MIS sila kasi maliit pa lang silang company. Yan ang problema. Many modern businesses have adopted remote work policy, spreading their data across multiple platforms and devices. While these new working models might add or might help in business productivity, scattering your data across servers, virtual machines, personal computers, and cloud, and say applications like Google Workspace and Microsoft 365 may actually put your data at risk. Ay alam na natin to any time, any way na tayo ay laging online, you always run the risk of getting attacked. You know, I know that for a fact because it's been happening to me all these years. Halos 24/7 po kasi ako naka-online because of my work. Okay. Another common challenge for small businesses is scattered and redundant data. Okay. To secure data and meet governance and compliance regulations, such as GDPR, all devices and platforms must be backed up in an unified manner. However, this type of data management can get complex talaga when certain platforms are only compatible with specific backup solutions. Ayan pala. So, hindi lahat-lahat po na-address kasi may kanya-kanyang that they belong to, okay? In addition, it can be hard to avoid expensive licensing fees whenever software and hardware or storage devices are purchased separately. Yun nga, pag hindi company bought, pag individually, mas mahal. Mas malaki yung charge. Start protecting your deployment now. With these issues in mind, a company may need a new approach. Isipin na lang, okay? Dahil nga, start protecting your deployment now. You may need a new approach when considering data protection. Small businesses need a data protection solution that enables them to centralize and protect business data distributed across platforms and perform multi-version backups with flexible, rapid restoration options to minimize damage when a disaster occurs. Okay? Discover more on business data protection. Well, if you're looking for a new and intelligent backup solution to replace your existing system, you'll want to make sure it supports these three things, okay? Kung kayo po ay naghahanap ng backup solution to replace yung current backup software or app, you wanna think about these three things, okay, before getting one. Number one, ang importante po, excuse me, ang importante po first is a centralized data management system. Needs to support comprehensive backup tasks from a single console. Okay, so ang isang centralized data management system po needs to support comprehensive backup tasks from a single console lamang. IT staff can deploy and monitor backup tasks and stay alert with instant notification but detailed reports. Okay, the best backup solutions after intuitive backup management for all. Okay, ang pinaka-best na solution, pinaka-best solution offer intuitive backup management for all endpoints, including mga servers, virtual machines, and SaaS applications. Backup are less effective without fast and easy restoration options. Today's leading solutions offer near instantaneous restoration to minimize costly individual downtime. Okay? Ulitin ko, ngayon po yung mga solutions offer near instantaneous restoration. Agad-agad na restore po yung nawawala na data using flexible recovery options without burdening IT admins, speeding up the recovery process. So, now, minimize po ang costly service downtime. Okay? Second, a smart data backup should provide efficient backups for all company devices without occupying extra storage space or duplicate pieces of data. Okay? This would include, ano po itong mga kasama dito? This would include incremental backup technology, which only saves a copy. Copy lang po ang sinasave doon. Okay? Itong incremental backup technology, which only saves a copy of files that have been changed or newly added since the last backup. Additionally, this would include data deduplication, a technology that eliminates identical data blocks across backup. I think that's really cool. Kaya lang, bago mag-delete, save mo rin muna. Okay? The ideal backup solutions offer both options while also taking into account existing storage deployments. It is essential to find a solution that is flexible and scalable enough to meet the demands of growing businesses without requiring the replacement of its existing infrastructure. Anong ibig sabihin po? Na itong, ang ideal na backup na setup po para sa lahat, dapat po, ang tinitignan nyo that it offers both options while also taking into account existing storage deployments. Okay? It is essential to find a solution that is flexible and scalable enough to meet the growing needs. Okay? Without requiring the replacement of its already existing infrastructure. Yun po. Kung meron na kayong MIS, i-augment lang po. No? Number 3, okay, the last item that I want to talk about regarding these 3 things. Okay? 3 things that to consider when deploying data protection to your small business. Meaning, bago ka maglagay ng data protection, alamin nyo muna ito. Okay? Okay, so third, a backup solution should be cost efficient. According to Foundry Security Priorities Study, 90% of security leaders believe they're falling short in addressing cyber risks. And you can attribute these shortfalls to not investing enough security budget. Yung pala naman eh. Business data security can be expensive. Okay? With costs including infrastructure, construction, security, analytics, network monitoring, routine maintenance, firmware, software updates, and recurring license fees. Okay, having a backup service, okay, that integrates the hardware and software can mitigate those food costs. Dapat lang naman magtulungan po. Hello there, Rachi Mendiola. Kung matino po ang pamilya. Sorry ngayon ko nakita. Good morning, Miss Cynthia. I have missed you. I haven't seen you in a while. And welcome po sa lahat ng mga nanonood. Pasensya na po. Ngayon ko lang ito nakita yung pangalan. Hello there, Patas Balita. Good morning. Thank you very much. Miss Felisa Malibiran, good morning to you. Jess Miguel Guillermo, good morning din to you. Pasensya na ngayon lang umakit yung mga pangalan. Rachibum Mendiola, hello, good morning. Welcome po sa inyong lahat. So, Ayan po, kanina po pinag-usapan natin yung parenting, hindi ko nakita yung mga, kasi yung names po, laging delayed, umakyat. Ngayon ko lang nakita. So, thank you, and welcome. Maraming salamat for watching. So I was going back po dun sa data, 3 things to protect your data before you deploy it, okay? So yun po. So by consolidating acquisition, deployment, and technical support with one vendor, IT admins can have a comprehensive backup and recovery plan in place without paying additional license or maintenance fee, okay? A backup solution that aligns with your business digital transformation. Ayan po ang importante. Dapat meron kayong backup solution that aligns with your business's digital transformation. Okay? The ownership and management of data is a crucial part of today's growing businesses. My goodness. Not ever before, we just have to guard our data kasi ang dami-dami pong cyber crimes, mga malware na nangyayari dyan na pinapadala through the internet. Okay? So, whether or not a business can protect its data plays a major role in its success. Okay? Having a smart backup solution can provide businesses with a competitive advantage, put them a step ahead in this modern era. Okay? So, ayan po, yun po yung tatlong bagay, okay, na importante when deploying data protection to our small business. Okay, so there you go. Those are the 3 things. Centralized management, okay, which is a centralized management needs to support comprehensive backup tasks from a single console. Okay, IT staff can deploy and monitor backup tasks and stay alert with an instant notifications and detailed report. Ayun po, number 1, centralized management. Number 2, smart backup technology. Okay, a smart data backup solution ay importante at para maging efficient po ang backups for all company devices without occupying extra storage space with duplicate pieces of data. This would include incremental backup technology, which only saves a copy of files that have been changed or newly added since the last backup. So, importante po ang smart backup technology. And number 3, last but not the least, meet your security budget and requirements, okay? A backup solution should be cost efficient, okay? According to Foundry Security's priority study, 90% of the security leaders believe they're falling short in addressing cyber risks. Okay? Pero marami pa po tayong pwedeng pag-usapan tungkol dyan, pero nilipaso na lang po natin itong tatlong bagay kasi malapit na tayo mag-end. At of course, at ang pangatlo, major security budget and requirements. Okay? Yan po. So, again, I will say by consolidating acquisition, deployment, and technical support with one vendor, IT admins can have a comprehensive backup and recovery plan in place without paying additional license or maintenance fee. Okay? All right. Thank you. So I'd like to ask if you have any questions, please feel free to field them here po. I-type niyo po lang dyan yung question nyo kung para makita ko pa. Pasensya na po at ngayon po nakita yung mga pangalan nyo. Once again, Patas Balita, thank you. Felisa Malibiran, Jess Miguel Guillermo, Rachibu Mendiola, Cynthia Busnet, Tita Agnes Lakap, the Lakap family, my Bautista family in Manila. Thank you very much. So please feel free to fill in your questions, send in references of resource people that you want featured in the program to speak on certain issues that are relevant. Okay. And also you can also message me sa Messenger, J. Bautista, or in my Facebook page. Okay. Which is, you can just ask me to add you. Okay. But please, huwag po mag-hesitate, mag-suggest, tsaka magsalita, or to ask questions. Again, that's what we're here for, to help everyone. Okay? On that note, I'd like to end the subject matter of data, how to protect your data, and go and move forward to the next topic we're supposed to talk about, still about women, and the best job that women can have in this day and age, and what they can do from home and not outside from home. Right? So, parang namimiss ko yata makita si Angelica Pax. Siya na for the past few days. But I hope you're okay. Angelica, well, she's my friend naman on Facebook. I see her there. So, about the Philippines, I already talked about COVID, right? Um, one thing that I want to talk about, which we will continue tomorrow, because segueing from the amazing women that talked about the work-life balance challenges, we will still look into other things to talk about. But tomorrow, we will have uh, more news regarding women's job in this pandemic and what women can do in this pandemic. All right? We will just not start that now kasi mahaba po yun. Bukas na natin pag-usapan. Okay? In the meantime, thank you so much. And the Winnicky family for having us over to Manila. And happy anniversary to George and Jenny. And also belated happy birthday to Ichu Arias, one of my good friends. Happy birthday to you too. Okay? Um, Yung sinabi ko po, hindi pa po mag-change your alert level. It's gonna be reviewed and monitored the next week or so to see if there's gonna be another upsurge. Oh, on the OFW front, or the overseas workers pala, I wanted to talk about this briefly. OPLEI's review of OFW hiring system. Bad employers have it either. Of course, there's something wrong with the system. Incoming migrant workers secretary Susan Tusofle said about how bad employers seem to have an easier time hiring overseas Filipino workers from abroad. I want to review all the systems in place. Why is it difficult for good employers to get Filipinos in the same way that bad employers are? Sometimes they even have an easier time to get Filipino workers. Okay, Office said this in an interview last Tuesday with ANC. There's something wrong with the system, so we need a systems review. On Monday, Attorney Vic Rodriguez, presumptive President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.'s Chief of Staff, said OPLE has accepted the offer to head the newly created Department of Migrant Workers under the incoming administration. Wasn't she already head of the POK? Something, because I always see her working with workers. But anyway, according to OPLE, holding a consultation with stakeholders to create a common vision for the department will be her first agenda once she takes office. I think I agree with her. And on that note, we'd like to say thank you very much for joining me today. This has been Jay Bautista doing Buhay Online with you and for you. So at the end of the day, three things should remain: faith, hope, and love. Maraming salamat po.
Inyong natunghayan at napakinggan ang mga makabagong pamamaraan sa mundo ng online sa pamamagitan pa rin ng Broad Stream Cast Communicators